Hey guys, CB Smallwood here, and you're watching Wildcat Behind the Page. And it seemed like I got plenty to show you for this episode. And sticking with the theme that I've done in the past couple of videos, I'm just going to talk about things for probably about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm actually going to show you afterward the artwork and stuff like that. So just kind of bear with me. Also, I was going to make some notes beforehand, before I started talking, so that I could stay more on point and be a little bit more professional in my presentation. But I just don't feel like doing it. So I'm just going to kind of spitball things and go from there. Well, first of all, I feel pretty good. I feel very productive. I've been getting things done. And actually, I had made another Wildcat Behind the Page video, but I deleted it because I took too long to upload it, and I feel like I've got better material to show you guys for this video. So I don't want to build your expectations up too high, because it's not like mind-blowing or nothing, but I still think it's pretty cool overall. It's a lot better than the video I deleted. And speaking of videos, I don't know if I mentioned this yet or not. I may have. I find that, when I was uploading videos before, doing the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge, I tried to upload every day. Sometimes it was every other day. Sometimes it was maybe like once a week. But when you get in a habit of trying to upload as often as you can, videos, that is, what ends up happening is you just want to keep doing that, and I've got that bug again to keep doing that. And I'm trying not to bombard you guys and gals with multiple videos on the same topic. I want to give you time to digest the last video that I put out. So I like to do no more than 2 a week of Wildcat Behind the Page, but it just depends, just whatever I'm feeling at the time. I'd like to hear your all's thoughts on that, if you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, just in general. Other than that, have been productive. Will Avenger gave me my copies that he got from Minuteman Press for me. And so now I've actually begun inking, and that's going really good, I think. I'm happy with the ink so far. I have not necessarily been looking forward to the inks, because I just kind of want to hurry up and get to the colors and the lettering stage. But I have found in this inking process that I'm actually really enjoying it, because when I ink things, I see inking, when I'm inking, especially my own stuff, I kind of see it as just another part of the creative process. Like, pencils is one thing, but inks are another, because ink behaves a lot more like paint in terms of how it spreads, if you use a brush, and how it can sometimes be a little rowdy if you use like a pen or even a brush, and it does unpredictable things, more times than not, something that you don't want it to do, often called mistakes. But other than that, there's really charming things that you can do with ink that you can't do with pencil. So there's a trade-off there, some pretty cool stuff. And so I'm taking advantage of this inking stage to really try to add an extra layer, extra dimension to my art that was not there in the pencils. And so hopefully I can tidy some things up and that sort of thing. And let's see what else. What other thoughts I got? Well, I've been talking to letterers, and I've been scoping out colorists. got some colors scoped out, and but I haven't really talked to any colorists yet because I've got nothing inked to show them, and I would have to save up some money before I can even get started with that. And I've been getting this really wicked itch to just watercolor my own stuff. But I don't know about that. I want to do what's best for the comic, not just something that I got an itch to do. You know what I mean? I want it to look good. But I also want to be able to afford to do it. Let's see, what else do I got for you? Well, that's pretty much it, guys. One other note. I'm having technical difficulties. Like my wife, she rearranged a lot of the stuff in the living room, and when she did that, she unhooked the internet and then a couple other wires, and so now the wires that we need to run to one part of the house, the other part of the house, are too short. And so now I don't have internet in my office. I have a wireless laptop, but since the new Windows update destroyed it in terms of its wireless network adapter, and I guess since the company that manufactures it has not come up with a patch to fix that, the internet on my laptop is dead unless I run a very, very, very long Ethernet cord, which I do not have at this moment. So I'm having a bit of difficulties with that. I've tried. I deleted Android off the back end of the computer, and I've tried to install a Linux program. What's it called? Oh, no. It's called Zorin, 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 and it's supposed to be like a program that's easy for users to transition from Windows to Linux. It's kind of like a transitional program, makes it easier to do that. And I've had trouble trying to get it installed, and so I may not go with Zorin. If I try again with a Linux operating system, I'll probably go with what I'm more familiar with and use Linux Mint or maybe Ubuntu. And but Linux Mint, probably, I imagine it might be a little bit smoother. And I'm going to do a dual boot, so that way when I want to use some Windows programs to make art and do cool stuff, I'll have that. When I want to use Linux programs to make art and cool stuff, I'll have those on the same laptop. And this will fix my laptop and give me that internet access again, because Linux has all kinds of like programs built in it, and then like all the things that Windows screwed up, Linux will go bam, 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 fix it. That's what I like about Linux. The bad thing about Linux is you have to be a little bit savvy, or you have to be a total tech nerd to really enjoy it, so well, I guess that's it. Sorry that I rambled. Let's go ahead and go to the pages. And sorry again, rambled. I went a little too long on this one. So here we are on the handy dandy artboard, glass table, whatever you want to call it. Before I get started, I want to show you a couple of things that I have been working on. Some of these you may have seen before. If not, bear with me. I'll try to fly through these quickly, since I wasted about 10 minutes, or was it 5 minutes or 10? Yeah, it's about 10 minutes just talking. So let me show you some stuff. I think I've showed you this before, but I'll show it again. This is an idea I had, possible future Wildcat villain. Sketched just out before the end of the new year. Might have been in November, I'm not for sure. I just thought it looked pretty wicked. It's very hellacious. Anyway, moving on from that, what I want to show next is some watercolors. Now, all these watercolors I'm getting ready to show you, I did not do the art. I did not do the art. So I don't want anybody getting the idea that I drew stuff, okay? Well, I mean, I drew this, but the watercolor pieces I'm getting ready to show, I did not draw these. So let me move on to that. So here is some Arthur Adams, his take on Fantastic Four, and I watercolored this and I inked it. And I really was not looking forward to inking this because I just want a watercolor. I really enjoy it. It really brings me a peace and ease of mind and stuff. Now, the watercolors show up a little bit better in person if you were to look at these, but not much better. You know, just a little bit. Overall, I'm happy with this. I'm not like ecstatic or nothing like that. I forgot to add in the gray and different colors for this smoke and exhaust from the liftoff. What I like most is I thought Thing turned out excellent. I thought the Human Torch turned out excellent. And I like what I did with the leather. Maybe this was not intended to be leather, but I tried to make it leather-like, and I like the effect. I thought I did a good job with that. But that's pretty much it. I like the choice of color in the background, but it needed to be blended a little bit better, but I just got tired of fooling with it. And then on the inks, this stuff right here was actually shaded, and it may have been sort of intended to be blacked out. But the thing that I noticed when people do these pencil shadings of things, sometimes the pencil shadings look more superior to the final ink version, because once you ink stuff, it gives you absolute black, so there's no in-between values with the light and shadow. So what I try to do is I just put a bunch of lines, and that gives you that in-between look that pencils can, and also gives a really cool stylistic effect, you know. So that's something that I do. I mean, other people sort of did this, but I don't think people do it in quite the way that I use it for, you know, because usually when people shade stuff, they just go ahead and black it out. But if I think it'll, you know, add to it and try to keep the previous feeling of the last piece, then I'll just, you know, leave it be, and I'll just kind of, you know, line it up, if that makes sense. All right, so moving on, we're going to get into some Bernie Wrightson, and been experimenting with like chromochromatics and stuff like that, or chronochromatics. The idea is you take one color and you color an entire piece with it, and you do different layers of that same color to give a cool effect. Now this technically is not really chronochromatic, but I started out with a kind of like a lime green color with the tree, with the Swamp Thing, and this. So this way, this whole piece has a consistent look to it, where they look, you know, like they come from the same environment. And then I come in and I add different shadings of green, you know, sticking with the green color. Here, you know, the tree's brown, of course. You know, I started putting in the brown. And I was trying different backgrounds, like background colors. I love doing horror kind of themed purple background colors because it really makes things pop. Not many people do it, and it just looks awesome when you put purple in the background of a panel or a cover or something. But here I was trying to achieve the same effect with a different color. You know, can I make blue look cool? And I think I did a good job on this. I mean, not like mind-blowingly awesome. Okay, another Bernie Wrightson piece. I like this one better. Of course, it's got that purple on there that I like. And my only complaint with this one is right here's is Swamp Thing's hand, and then here's like this is, I think this is supposed to be like another tree branch, but I kind of painted it green. But I think really this is more like a bit of artistic taste and stuff like that more than anything, because this could be green, it could be moss covered and stuff like that, you know, just, you know, however you want to perceive it. But I did try in order to fix it a little bit, and I already like the I guess you would call it the color values that I established here. I thought that looked pretty cool, so I didn't really want to take away from that. So what I decided to do is I would just kind of darken things up a little bit more, and especially in between Swamp Thing's fingers, to show that there's a difference between the two. But the cool thing about it is, to make excuses for myself, is and this makes it look like Swamp Thing's more like part of his environment, which he is. So, and in this piece, I actually got a video up about this. If you've not seen it, just search on my YouTube page and look for Bernie Wrightson Watercolors. I think that's what I called it, Bernie Wrightson Watercolors. And you can watch me actually watercolor this, you know, in a kind of like a speed art video. You don't have to listen to me gab for like 30 minutes. I really like the way this turned out. I thought this turned out really cool. I decided that I was going to make this figure pop out, and that was kind of like the mood that I wanted to establish. And again, experimenting kind of like with the chronochromatic theme. I used lime green and different shades of green for the background and stuff like that. And I think this guy might have even been shaded green. I'm not for sure. I can't remember. He may have been. But my only regrets with this piece is like the background. I think maybe just a little bit of black, just slight black, to tone down the brightness of the green background. But it still looks cool just the way it is. And so that's the only reason I stopped myself from doing that, because I really liked it. I think it looks cool. You know, this would make a cool t-shirt, you know, I think. Like if this was black, the rest of the t-shirt was black, and then you had this green thing in the middle, I think that would look cool. Bernie Wrightson artwork. Okay, now this is actually, this is Hellboy, but this is by Travis Charest, or Charest, I think. Really good artist. This turned out really good. I'm really happy with how I did the leather. I think I did a good job with the leather. It looks better in person, and the reason you're not really getting a good gasp of how this actually looks is because of the lighting issue in my little studio. But I'm really proud of how I made his rock arm look like a rock arm, you know. I mean, Travis Charest did most of the work for me, but like when I actually colored it, I think that I gave it more of that look. Not to sound, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to sound pompous. I kind of sound pompous right now, but I really don't mean to sound that way. I felt like I did a good job with his arm, you know. So I like this one. This is really simple and quick too to do, you know. So the next page I'm going to show you, I'm getting out of the watercolors, and now what I want to show you is the actual inks that I had talked about before. So let's get into that. So here we are. This is the cover of Wildcat. And let me stand up here so we can get a better look. And then, so this is it, inked. If I do anything else to this in the future, it will probably be to this tombstone. I was thinking about doing a more cracked effect on the tombstone and stuff like that. or having stuff broken off, or maybe putting bullet holes in it or stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. Could do some claw marks. I just thought of that. That'd be kind of neat. But yeah, there you go. Pretty happy with how this turned out. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, zoom back out. And I'm working on now the page number 1 of Wildcat. Let me get a sip of my beverage. What I've been using to I was getting ready to say color. What I've been using to ink on both the cover and on this page as my go-to tools so far is, gosh, oh boy, that would have been bad. Let me make sure this. Okay, Walmart brand black India ink made by Dollar and Ronnie. You know, a Daler or Dollar and Ronnie brush. I love this brush. Does a pretty good job of keeping its fine tip. You have to be gentle with it, or you know, like any brush, it'll frizzle out. And this one is I don't know if you can see this. Where's it at? There it is. This is a 10. This is a 10/0. Okay. Sorry you can't see that. 10/0. I got a pack of Statler pens, and I've just been using the 0.1 out of this pack. And the 0.1 does a good job of getting the finest of the finest of the finest details. So I use this for my fine details. I use the brush for organic details and for hair. I use this for outlines and shading. I also use this for shading too. And I use this for everything else. I'll do outlines with it, kind of general fine details a little bit that are not super fine. So these are my tools of inking destruction. Now, out of these tools, with the brush, since I'm doing a lot of trees and stuff like that, a lot of stuff that's organic, I like to use the brush. I think the brush does a good job of you know, making things kind of do their thing, and it's just so easy to use, you know, because you just go crazy with it as far as that stuff. Now, if it was like really fine details, I would not use a brush. I'd rather just use a pen of some type, you know. Anyway, let me dab my ink here. Saturate my brush with ink. Now, I'm not really comfortable filming this and inking too, because I got this camera right in between my arms, and I'd rather not mess up. What I like about using the brush, it makes me feel like I'm a Japanese artist. You know, them Japanese and their brushes, you know. Now, if you were to ask me what things do I prefer to ink with, well, I think really it's just whatever the job calls for. And for this particular thing, I think the brush is called for, you know. I think the effect that I got on the ground's kind of interesting. Um, and I think overall, um, things may look a bit cluttered, but I think I might be redeemed a little bit once this is colored, you know, and everybody sees like, oh, okay, that's what this is, and that's what this is, and okay, that makes better sense now. I didn't know, you know. And I'm also going to take, I tell you something else I've been enjoying. Now, I hated these pens for like a while. Yeah, Uniball Signo. But this is another inking tool, and I've enjoyed them since I've been inking because they've actually been working for once and doing what I want them to do instead of everything else, you know. And so this is a cool thing. Like if your brush is about out of ink, it can give this cool shaded kind of effect, you know. If that's the effect you're going for, which it's not. I'm just showing you, and I don't really care, you know, because I'll just go in and do whatever, you know. There's no method to the madness. Oh gosh. So what time I'm doing this? I'm trying to think. I may just blacken this area out right here, so that way the remaining leaves that I have falling here will be more easily recognized by the colorist. And I'll probably, if I get a colorist, I'll probably show, you know, make notes like you know, with arrows and stuff, like, hey, this is a leaf and this one's a leaf. I messed that leaf up a little bit, but who cares? Whatever. People don't buy comics for leaves. Is it that book that's got Superman in it? No, it's got Wildcat. Who's Wildcat? Well, he's just he's is he a cat man? No, he's not a cat man. He's well, I guess sort of. Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. He's is he a superhero? Well, he's not quite a hero. He's kind of like an anti-hero who becomes a hero. Oh, I'm fascinated. Tell me more. I don't even know why I went to this whole big skit. That was dumb. But yeah. Do. Yeah. I like this idea that I had here. This would be pretty cool. And I think where this cross tombstone is blending with the background some more, I may try blackening the edges a little thicker. I may also end up taking this white gel pen and doing an outline, so that way your eye knows that that's what this is. I may even white gel pen some of these leaves. You know what? I'm a smart man. That's what I'll do. For some of the leaves that you can't really tell what's going on, I'll gel them bad boys up. See, you guys give me all kinds of great ideas. Look at that. That's awesome. So I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I just kind of wanted to show you what I'm doing in my whole process and that sort of thing. Let me put the cap on my ink so I don't spill it on my page. I actually have a lot of thoughts on philosophical kind of thoughts, you know, about making comics, overcoming difficulties and stuff like that. And because of the length of this video, I didn't really get to cram any of that stuff in, you know. You know, maybe I'll do that in its own separate video, you know, and I'll show some artwork or whatever. But I really do feel like your mental state of mind is very, very important when you're doing comics or you're doing anything, you know, if you want to be successful, whatever it is that you're pursuing. And even though I'm a nobody, I think I may have, you know, some advices, some advice that, you know, maybe some people may take home with them and be like, hey, this is pretty cool, you know. But we'll see. Anyway, you know what I'm getting ready to say, so let me hit you with it now. If you like this video, please remember to give it a most excellent, nice thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed this video and you want to show your support, please remember to subscribe and follow, so that way you'll be kept up to date to all the latest videos and shenanigans. As always, I love y'all. I appreciate you sticking around on this long video. And oh, and by the way, I think in the future, if I keep making long videos like this, I'll start time stamping them so you can actually find the content that you want to find in the video, and you don't have to listen to me ramble on forever. But as always, I love y'all. Thank you for your support, and I will see you in the next video.